Good afternoon, investigators. It's Mike Evans and Casey Pine with episode 195 of Spy Curious, the Australian Friday afternoon, 2 p.m. Queensland time, investigation news program. How are you, Casey?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me back. It's been a while.
Where have you been?
Just busy. Trying to manage the workload and do quick look, and yeah, it's been good.
How is quick look going? Can we have a quick update, please?
Yeah, it's going slow and steady, just launching a new marketing campaign, which will hopefully bring some more people through the door. But we've had quite a few reports after Valentine's Day, which kind of anticipated of people letting their guard down and being scammed. So yeah, always interesting, never boring.
Very good. G'day, Luke. How you going, mate? Good to see you. Thanks for checking in, buddy.
Hello.
Check in. Let us know you're watching, people. So what's Quick Look again for our viewers, please, Case?
So Quick Look is a business I started in regards to doing background checks for people who are dating. So as a PI, you tend to get people who have either been scammed or have been abused or had things happen to them while dating. And I always thought that this information, it's not really good after the crime or whatever has occurred. It's usually better if they had this information before any of that happens. So I wanted to create something where people could arm themselves with a bit of information and get a little bit more to the story than they're told, and then they can make an educated decision from there as opposed to going in blind.
Very good. That's excellent. G'day, Bug. Thanks for tuning in. Great to see you. Whoops. Hi, Claire. Thanks for tuning in. Great to see you. For those of you who just missed it, you missed Casey's explanation of Quick Look. You can watch it on the replay. And Casey has been very busy. She's had a birthday. And yesterday, as manager of the Chargers basketball team, she presided over a big win of 4 points. I was there watching her in action. And a pretty good win, Casey.
Yes, it was fantastic.
A lot of potential there in the future in the basketball on the Gold Coast. Very enjoyable. Okay, we're going to get straight into it, people. We've got job vacancies. We've got news. We've got Casey. What have you got today?
I am going to show you how to find documents related to specific people online.
Beautiful. So people giving up some stuff online that we can go and have a snoop at?
Oh, let's hope so.
Very good. We'll come back to it in a minute. We're going to start off with a little bit of CPD, just to update you. On Friday afternoons, just before this program, we have a CPD program called Investigations Uni. And basically you can go there and you can download CPD points. What are CPD? Why is it important? And why am I going for Investigation Instructor of the Week? This is a demonstration of what continuous professional development is all about. This glass of water represents where you are at in your career. Now, we all have careers and we all have an occupation. And what happens is we start off and we develop it, and as it grows and as we grow, things start to happen to our business, such as this dirt. And it comes into our business that this glass of water represents in our career, and it messes everything up. And what we try and do is we then spend our careers getting rid of all that crap. It's tax, it's staff that don't turn up, it's clients that don't pay, it's marketing that we never get finished. And we're constantly looking at our glass and taking out the bad reviews from clients, the disastrous being late for appointment because of the traffic, the kids' dental bills. The marketing people just don't get what I sent them in the brief, and we're taking that crap out of our beautiful career all the time. aren't we? But here's how professional development and continuous professional development work. Our glass of water with all that crap in it, when we top it up with continuous professional development, such as like this, suddenly we get clarity and we start to see that our career, we have options and solutions because of that continuous professional development that we keep topping our glass up with to maintain competitive, to build our future, to stay in business, to handle those issues, and it works. Through AIRLAP, Investigations Uni, and the Australian Security Academy, you are constantly fixing your career with continuous professional development, learning from the people who you would like to emulate in your career because they've been successful at it. Cheers. That's why they call me One Take Mikey, with sneezes and cats. So I hope everybody now has a clear understanding of what continuous professional development is, and it was roasted dandelion, okay? It wasn't dirt, all right? Everybody chill out. No dirt was harmed in the making of that video. Don't write in and complain unless it's to Casey, all right? Let's have a look at some of the
analogy.
Thank you very much, Casey, for admitting that. Let's have a look at a particularly good job that's available this week. And if you've got experience in investigations, this is a step up the ladder and a half.
It's Friday the 17th of February 2023, and this is an amazing job opportunity on our Australian Private Investigator Corporate and Government Investigation Jobs Facebook page. I reckon it's opportunity of the year. You will be the Provider Services Manager for QBE for third-party suppliers of investigations, risk and loss adjusting. Now, QBE handle an enormous amount of insurance investigation and loss adjusting work throughout Australia. They're one of the top 3 providers of such work. And in this role, you'll be in charge of the compliance enforcement of suppliers to QBE. Now, recently, it's been discovered that over 3,000 loss adjusters in Australia do not hold the nationally recognised qualification Diploma of Loss Adjusting. They were told by AIRLAP, the industry association, that they had to go and do it through the ANZ IIF, and the ANZ IIF issued them a nationally recognised qualification based on a course that AIRLAP designed back in 1999 that expired in 2002. So you will be in this role in charge of getting loss adjusters and investigators back into being compliant. Now, QBE have always demanded that investigators and loss adjusters hold a private investigator's licence. So it is covered for the fact that the loss adjusters supplying to QBE don't hold that loss adjusting diploma as they thought and were misled by AIRLAP. So by holding that private investigator's licence, they are still compliant as loss adjusters. So this is a great role. You will be liaising with investigators and loss adjusters and other third-party suppliers. There might be construction people, plumbing people, electricians. There's a whole range of areas that you'll be dealing with. But this is an amazing opportunity to take your investigation, regulatory compliance skills and loss adjusting to the next level.
All those jobs, people, are available on our Australian Private Investigator, Corporate and Government Investigator jobs page. QBE, how big is it? Jump on Seek and type in QBE and hit enter. 4 pages of job vacancies come up at 30 per page. It's a massive organisation, And that role that you'd be doing there would be very well paying and not beyond an investigator that's managed investigators in Australia. So great opportunity. Casey, you're on.
Okay. I hope everyone bears with me. It's been a while since I've presented on StreamYard like this. I thought as like a nice little comeback, I would do a live demo. So my live demos always come with warnings as to what I might come across because, as I said, it's live and sometimes things pop up, and I'm very sorry if it does. I'll try and get out of it as quickly as possible. We're not doing dark web or anything today, so we should be okay. I will just share my screen. Oop. Add to stream. Oops. Here we go. Okay. So I wanted to show you today something that I have a lot of success with when it comes to finding people and pivoting and just looking for either I have found people's addresses this way that have been hiding for a long time. I've found assets. I've found hidden companies and resumes, which give you a heap of information on the person that you might be looking for. So what we are going to have a look at, we'll just go to google.com.au and look for a person's name. I'm just going to make up a name and we'll be doing this together. So let's say we'll just pick two kind of common names. We'll go Michael Grant. So Michael is our subject, and we would like to know if there are any documents on the internet which have any information about him, whether that's documents that he might have through work, resumes that he might have uploaded, different memos that he's been briefed in, maybe a bunch of emails have been uploaded. There's a range of different things that we can look for. And so how we search for this is we say file type, semicolon, PDF, whoops. And we also would like probably documents, just normal documents. So we'll go extension, doc, or. So the ors in between are PDF or document, or we'll go docx. These are just different types of document types that you might find on the internet. And we'll just hit enter and see if this brings up anything. So that's quite a lot. So there are 47,000 results then. And as you can see, the extensions here, that's a PDF, the top one. The one below is a PDF. The one below that is a document. This is in Public Defenders. It's from the New South Wales government. The death of Michael Grant was caused by an act or acts done by the accused. So these are documents that we're looking for. But a lot of them will be from overseas. So let's take it a little bit further and say that in the text, we would like the word Australia, just to make sure that it's Australian. So if it's a resume or a memo or something, it might have the word Australia in there. You could try different states, or let's just go Sydney. A lot of people have their address, like on their sign off, they've got an address or something, or a post office box underneath. So this might work. So this has brought us down to 9,000 results. So we've got an Honourable Chief Justice Michael Grant. fantastic. There's a heap here, Australian Academy of Law, so that's a PDF. I'm not sure what that is. That's a PDF. So, but it's brought us down to 9,000 results. And say again, when we'd like to narrow it down even further, that we want to see if he has put a resume online. So again, brackets, we'll go, usually resume is in the title, right? So we'll look for in title resume. See, oh, they're checking on me to make sure I'm not a robot. Mountains or hills? Oh, I love these so much. Please select. There we go. So we have 3 results here. We've got the University Network of Sydney. I mean, we can click on this and have a look at it and see what comes up. So we'll just download this quickly, if it'll let me. Document. So see how in the title there is document resume. And we'll just have a look. We'll go Control S and we'll save that to our, where's my desktop? Save it to the desktop. Open it up so we can see it properly, and we can just search in here and we can see where the name Michael Grant comes up. And so come up down here, not sure why, but you can see, oh, it's in an appendix, so that's why it comes up. So it's probably not an actual, if we scroll back to the top, not actually Michael Grant's resume, but he's in there. And our other keyword was Sydney. So we can have a look where it says Sydney, and you can search documents that, like, as you can see, this is quite a large document, well over 100 pages. It's 117 pages, and you can easily search like that. And now that we've got the document on our desktop as well, say this was the resume that we were looking for, or the document which has been really helpful for us. Another way to check information even further on this document is to check the EXIF data. So EXIF data, that doesn't do, where is my one that I usually like for a PDF? So EXIF data is metadata that can give you information such as when the document was created. It might give you a location, and it just might give you other pieces of information that you don't necessarily get from just looking at the info of the document. So we'll see if we can pull that. Choose file. Now with sensitive documents, be very careful which metadata you kind of user that you use. So say you work in government and this might be a sensitive document, they tend to keep a record of whatever it is that you have put up on there. So they either keep the document or they make a record of it. For sensitive data, you might not want that information, so you'll have to find manual ways of doing this. So it's processing it. There is a little bit here. It was created in 2012, Monday, March 12th, 2012. At that time, they used a PDF compressor, file name, and there's just a bunch of data here that I don't understand. There are other people that would know how to delve even further into this. how far do we have to go? Oh, there's a lot. See if we can pull anything. So as you can see, it's got all the different colors, image numbers, encoding, a heap of information there. There is actually one that I usually use, which is a lot easier to use than this one. I've forgotten the name though. Jeffrey's image search, which a lot of you might be familiar with, has been down for some time, so I had to move to another one. And as when I remember it, I'll have to either show you next week or tell Mike to show you. But that is a really easy way to find documents and people on the internet. So that's my tip for the week.
Pretty good tip indeed, Casey. We'll all be practicing that one over the weekend for our OSINT searches. And what's the most common thing people give up on the internet like that, Case?
Emails make their way to the internet all the time. Whoa.
Right.
Yeah, so emails somehow, like, either they've mucked up and they've tried to upload it to the cloud, or they're saving it to a cloud which was breached, and people just take them and put them on the internet. Other businesses are fantastic. You tend to find documents relating to a business where they're listed on these documents, but you can't find them like under an ABN or under like on ASIC, because you search their name, but it just doesn't come up. And I found multiple businesses that way that have been hidden. And yeah, just heaps of things. Resumes where I've been able to pivot off addresses and schools and things like that. So yeah.
Very good. Okay, just come back to that job that I showed you before, people, this one.
It's Friday the 17th of February 2023, and this is an amazing job opportunity on our Australian Private Investigator Corporate and Government Investigation Jobs Facebook page. I reckon it's opportunity of the year. You will be the Provider Services Manager for QBE for third-party suppliers of
Now, in the vein of what Casey does with her checking and her OSINT, that job was advertised on LinkedIn. You click on the job on LinkedIn, it tells you how many other applicants that have applied for it. Now, there's several days to go until it closes. There's been only one applicant for that job. So that means if you are 3/4 of a capability type person of getting that job, you've got a pretty good chance. It's not like there's 400 applicants and they've got a lot to choose from. We live in a very strange world where the boot's on the other foot as far as applying for work now. So that's something to keep in mind. LinkedIn lets you know how many applicants there have been for a job on it. A lot of people don't know that when you click on it. Let's have a look at a couple of PI vacancies.
Lee Kelly in Sydney are after workers' compensation investigators. They're paying $40 to $55 an hour for that. They've been around for around about 47 years. Lee Kelly, I used to work for them some 24 years ago in Hobart. And now they're looking for investigators in Sydney, Wollongong and Newcastle to undertake workplace injury investigations. So that's for factual investigations. You'll be interviewing people in relation to their injury. Later on, if it escalates to common law, you'll be interviewing the employers about what happened, and you'll be doing the particulars of negligence, which we just discussed in Friday Investigations Uni. Now, particulars of negligence is something that happens at the common law stage, not at the statutory stage of a workers' compensation claim. And if you're an Australian Security Academy student, graduate student, you have the right, as a member of the Academy of Investigation, Risk and Loss Adjusting Professionals, to attend Investigations Uni every Friday, where you can learn about particulars of negligence and common law and statutory or pending claims in workers' compensation in Australia. Well, we just spoke about Lee Kelly, who's been around for 47 years, but since the American Civil War, Pinkertons have been global investigators, which is a lot longer
than Lee Kelly and Associates. So Pinkerton's in Melbourne. G'day, Adam. G'day, everybody down there. Hope you're going well. They're seeking factual investigators to conduct investigations in relation to workers' compensation, code of conduct matters, and a whole range of investigation areas down there in Victoria. So you have to have a CPP 30619 from the Australian Security Academy for this, and you have to have a Victorian private investigator or private inquiry agent licence. Everything they want to know is there. They want someone that has good attention to detail and accuracy, ability to solve complex problems, and they will be interviewing people later on, in mid-March in relation to it. So put in your application, Google Pinkertons, their address will come up, cut and paste some of this and see it on Seek and get their address and apply for that job. Say to Adam, Mike Evans sent me, I've got his qualification here and I'm really well trained in all the types of investigations you want to do.
So, great opportunity with LKA, who I worked for a long time ago, and Pinkertons. G'day, Adam and the team down at Pinkertons. And Andy, if you put in your application that you read Andy Chambers' book, I'm sure you'll go right up to the top, won't they, Casey?
Absolutely. Great book. Yeah. Highly recommend it.
Highly recommend. You want to laugh? So what's happening at the Australian Security Academy this year? Well, on June the 20th, we have the launch of AIRLAP in Victoria. By that stage, we will have our industry association approved by the Victorian Police LRD, and our application, which everything they wanted, is 95% complete. We're just waiting on some small details to add to that application. And by the 20th of June, you'll be able to attend the launch of the Academy of Investigation, Risk and Loss Adjusting Professionals down in Victoria. And I'm sure Casey will be there smiling at you, giving you a big welcome. On March the 17th at Investigations Uni, we've got our risk management program. Now, with that risk management program, that's risk management for investigators and risk managers. So you'll find you have a lot of qualifications such as government security personnel vetting, government investigations, fraud control, where they have a risk management aspect, and so does the Certificate 3 in Investigative Services and the Diploma of Government Investigation and Loss Adjusting. So in our Investigations Uni CPD program, on those 3 consecutive Fridays, you'll see our risk management presentations to support your study there. That's going to be very helpful. Don't miss that. In April, we've got the Workers' Compensation Common Law finalisation of what we started today. So that's 4 1-hour programs on workers' compensation. Today we did particulars of negligence in common law claims, and there's other aspects to it that we'll be discussing over those 3 dates. In May, we've got CTP liability, motor vehicle accident presentations at Investigations Uni, and general insurance coming up in late May. As always, in between all that, we have 21 nationally recognised qualifications. One of them has 3 parts. And that means we still have all those from Certificate 3 in Investigative Services right through to the Advanced Diploma of Government Investigation. So it's all happening here at the Australian Security Academy, with coming up in Victoria the approval of the Academy of Investigation, Risk and Loss Adjusting Professionals Industry Association. That's really exciting. It's the only investigation industry association that has CPD every Friday through Investigations Uni. So you've got a higher quality, more informed student who knows how to deal with situations as they arise over time, because they've got CPD training, just as we told you at the front of this program today. Watch the replay, don't miss that. That's what's coming up. We also have that CPD points operating. Just recently this week, we got more CPD points up on Investigations Uni. I'll just show you that very quickly.
As graduates of the Australian Security Academy, you have access to our Friday Investigations Uni Continuous Professional Development Program. And recently, we've come out with the statements and the CPD points for 4 whole new CPD training sessions. So jump on our website. You've got the link from each week at the Investigations Uni website. Jump on there, complete the short assessment and get your statement of completion CPD points. Why is this important? I interview lawyers, barristers, solicitors, HR managers, that sort of thing. And they are all members of an industry association. Now, they're not always relevant to what we do as loss adjusters or licensed private investigators. Sometimes it'll be an HR industry association, or it might be something like, how could I put it, industrial relations, dealing with unions in their industry association, that sort of thing. All those people do constant, continuous professional development. They hold 3 degrees from universities, but they still do professional development. What does it say? It means they're current in their industry, keeping up with things that are trending, and they're getting constant reminders of excellence in their industry. So if they do it at that level, you don't have to. No one's asking you to become a barrister, solicitor, or a senior HR person in industrial relations. But when you go to them and apply for a job in the future and work for them, they will recognise that you've got CPD points, you've tried harder than someone that's just got the same old CPP 30607 Certificate 3 in Investigative Services from 2008 and has never done anything since. This separates you and makes you the go-to person for future work in our industry.
So it is very important. The people that are going to employ you, they do it. Other industries do it. And you have the opportunity to do it absolutely free just for being an Australian Security Academy student or graduate. Get in touch with me. You know how to get in touch with me. And I'll organise for you to take part in that program if you're not one of the 200 people that's already taking part in it. Don't miss out, people. It's free. It doesn't cost a cent. It's not a nationally recognised qualification program. So there isn't all that length of time and effort going into that. These are short, brief subjects that add weight to future applications for what you do and gives you options and solutions in your future areas of investigations, risk management, fraud control, government investigation and mercantile agents. This is a job that's available, but have a look at this. If you hear about insurance companies being assholes and knocking back people's claims and really being hard, this one's got a twist on it that's a little bit enlightening.
Suncorp Metway have a senior external dispute resolution officer role in Melbourne, Victoria. Now, what is external dispute resolution? It's called EDR. And here, when there is an argument between the claimant and the insurance company and a decision made by a claims manager, the external dispute resolution officer who works for Suncorp Metway becomes the initial umpire. Now, this prevents it escalating to the ASFA and becoming a real issue there. And it might be just a misunderstanding that the internal or external dispute resolution officer has to check the facts in relation to, check it against the policies, the criteria in the policies, the start date, the end date, what was covered, what wasn't, what the claims manager's doing, are they playing hardball, that sort of thing. So the external dispute resolution officer is the internal umpire for insurance companies, and FAI have them, Suncorp Metway have them, QBE have them, Allianz have them, everybody has them. Not always the most popular person at work because of some of the decisions they make them actually pay them sometimes. They're not all about screwing people. I was talking to a claimant this week when I had to go down and do an interview in relation to a motor vehicle accident, and he was affected by the floods in New South Wales last year. His house was completely wiped out, had to be demolished and rebuilt. Now, we're not talking about a $6 million mansion here. It was a modest house in the country. But the insurance company knew that his policy was the best policy he could get. He had the right to be accommodated with his family in, which was his wife and young 8-month-old baby, to be accommodated in 5-star accommodation from the policy that he took out prior to the floods. And he was living on a property, and he was a farmer, and he wanted to stick around the property. He didn't really want to go and stay in the centre of Sydney at 5-star accommodation there. It wasn't really his thing. The insurance company negotiated with him, provided him a $40,000 caravan, which when his house was rebuilt by the insurance company, he could keep. So sometimes, and quite surprisingly, insurance companies do make quite fair decisions when they cost out what could actually happen. And external dispute resolution officers are the people that probably arrange something like that in such cases.
That's quite amazing. I wouldn't rely on it, but that was just one situation where it was less expensive for the insurance company to allow the person to stay where he wanted to stay and have a solution for that than to send them off to the middle of Sydney, 300 kilometres away, where it wasn't relevant to them at all. So that was quite interesting. People, if you've got any questions, I'm going to be sticking around for another 5 minutes. So in the chat, don't be afraid to ask questions. Anything we haven't covered, Casey?
I don't believe so. Just if anyone wants to hear any kind of OSINT tips or has any open source intelligence questions for me, always let me or Mike know, because I do love answering questions. Yeah.
Fantastic. I forgot to mention that Evan is going to be coming on Investigations Uni, Evan Frangos, and he's going to be talking about Bitcoin investigations, which is something to look forward to. He's been away overseas and he's only just recently returned. And Evan, when you get in touch with me, mate, we've got to organise a date so we can lock that in, because we've been getting quite a few inquiries about Bitcoin investigations of recent times. It's going to be interesting to hear about your experience. So that's something else we've got to look forward to. We've got another two investigation instructors coming on board to take part in Investigations Uni soon, and you'll see them as that evolves over this year. It's got real traction. No one's more surprised about how that took off than me. I'm quite pleased with what it's done. I'm very pleased to announce the commencement of the approval of AIRLAP through the Victorian Police Licensing Regulation Division. So our application is just about to go in, and we expect, as in the date I said before, that we will be up and running as... Stop hitting buttons that you shouldn't be doing. And just as usual, I'll go out in our usual way. It's very important to go out. The other thing that's coming up, we're going to be in Tasmania, not next week, the week after. We've got some drone programs and some bush and rural surveillance programs down there. And I just couldn't let go. That's what life's like down in Tasmania. They all do that sort of thing, and they wear cowboy hats and they come up here and say howdy when you're on surveillance and minding your own business. So we're looking forward to that. Hope Casey can join us down there. Conversely, we will have that opening of our all happening this year with the Australian Security Academy, AIRLAP, and Investigations Uni, going out in our usual way with our Koreans, which are hiding from me, and I can't find them. There.
작전 종료. 전원 복귀할 것.
That's how every investigation agency in Australia ends their week, with all units returning to base and mission being complete. It was remiss of me to forget that Massel Investigations in Victoria yesterday advertised for factual investigators. Massel do workers' compensation investigations in Victoria for the VWA. Every graduate of the Australian Security Academy that's applied to Massel in the last 2 years has been taken on board. That should tell you something, people. All right, that's people that had no experience, and Mass will take people on, build their capacity and grow beginners in the industry and support them, just like Surefact do, just like Pinkertons do, just like MJM and several others do, ProCare. They all build capacity for the future. They want to know that you've got the right platform. They know they get a better trained investigator from the Australian Security Academy. Pat Flynn got some beautiful feedback yesterday by a lady who's highly experienced in the vocational education and training system. And she said to Pat, after he gave her feedback on her statements and on her records of interview that she could not believe how much effort we go to at the Australian Security Academy to provide constructive and supportive feedback to students when they submit an assessment. To us, it's perfectly natural. I get people want to join AIRLAP and our industry association, Investigations Uni, who have studied with other RTOs where they never got any feedback, or if to get feedback, they had to fight for it and wait for it. 95% of the feedback given to our students this week happened within an hour of receipt. 95%. The other 5% was done within 72 hours, but that was in relation to complex statement taking, records of interview, briefs of evidence, and search and seizures. We are very big on providing support to our students so you know what you're talking about when you apply for a job. You know what you're talking about when you want to win the confidence of an employer, and you know what you're talking about because of the CPD that you've undertaken with us at Investigations Uni. Thanks for watching, people. I've given plenty of time for any questions. We'll see you next week. I'm sure you'll be back next week, Casey. Give us an update on what's happening.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it. Okay. Looking forward to it. See you next week, people.
Bye, everybody.